The 1990 Arnold Classic kicked off a brand new decade in bodybuilding and marked a decisive moment for the sport. Held in the United States, the event already carried the weight of being one of the most important stages in professional bodybuilding. After all, it had that name attached to it. But that year, something felt different. There was this tension in the air, a sense that something big was about to happen. From backstage to the stands, everyone felt like they were witnessing the start of a historic chapter. And the festival wasn't limited to the men's division. One of the most anticipated categories was Ms. International, where Laura Creaval took the title in 1990. Her victory highlighted just how much women were growing inside the sport, gaining more space and respect on the international stage. The women's division brought excitement, diversity, and pulled in new audiences who connected instantly with the energy of the event. That edition of the Arnold Classic also made something else clear. Bodybuilding was already changing. The festival wasn't just a competition anymore. It was turning into a massive gathering of athletes, fans, and fitness professionals. Each year, the event grew in structure, attendance, and visibility, proving the sport was expanding fast. It was obvious that the Arnold Classic had gone far beyond the idea of being just another show. As the festival kept growing, the Arnold Sports Festival started aiming even higher. In the years that followed, it would expand into a global event, reaching countries across Europe, South America, Africa, Australia, and Asia. That growth showed just how much cultural and economic influence bodybuilding was gaining worldwide, connecting styles, cultures, and athletes from every corner of the globe. And the turning point for all of that happened right there in the early 90s. One of the biggest names on that 1990 lineup was none other than Shawn Ray, who entered the new decade as one of the sport's brightest rising stars. Still very young, he had already won the 1987 National Championship, earning his pro card and proving he wasn't just another guy on stage. His presence grabbed attention, professional, confident, and surprisingly mature for his age. It was clear a new star was forming. In 1990, Shawn took another huge step by winning the Pro Ironman, one of the most respected events on the pro circuit. That one put him in the spotlight and built even more hype for what he could accomplish that season. So when he arrived at the Arnold Classic, he wasn't just another competitor. He was a favorite, carrying all the pressure and excitement coming from fans and experts. Shawn Ray's physique was visually striking. He wasn't the tallest athlete on stage, but he made up for every inch with a super balanced package. His conditioning was razor sharp, his size was perfectly measured, and his symmetry was almost flawless. Many analysts still consider his 1990 look one of the most aesthetic physiques ever seen at the Arnold Classic, and honestly, in the whole world. It was the kind of body that grabbed your attention and made it hard to find weak points. When he stepped on stage that night, Shawn Ray didn't just compete, he took over. His routine was crisp, confident, smooth, and visually irresistible. Every pose hit exactly where it needed to, and the crowd reacted as if they were watching a legend being born. By the end of the show, Shawn was announced as the 1990 Arnold Classic champion, lifting the trophy like someone who knew he had just made history. But that winning moment was only part of a much bigger story unfolding behind the scenes. No one imagined that his triumph was about to turn into one of the most controversial moments of the decade. And you? Did you already know about Shawn Ray's first meteoric rise? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Shawn Ray's victory seemed to cement his spot among the greats of that era. But just a few days later, everything took an unexpected turn. During a tour in Canada, he received news that shocked the bodybuilding world. He had failed the drug test taken at the Arnold Classic. The revelation hit like a bomb, instantly killing the celebratory mood surrounding his recent win. And just like that, one of the biggest controversies of the 90s had begun. At the time, drug testing in bodybuilding was still something new. Organizations were just starting to enforce stricter rules, and many athletes weren't fully familiar with the updated protocols. So when Shawn's case went public, it created confusion, surprise, and a whole storm of questions. Fans were split. Some trusted the process. Others felt something wasn't adding up. The news spread fast among fans, coaches, and commentators. And one question kept floating around. How could such a meticulous athlete, someone so close to reaching his peak, end up in a situation like this? No definitive answer ever came. But regardless of anyone's opinion, the rules back then were crystal clear. And once the test detected banned substances, there was no room for interpretation. The regulations had to be followed. With the positive result confirmed, the final decision was unavoidable. Shawn Ray was disqualified, and his 1990 Arnold Classic title was officially revoked. The trophy he had proudly raised was no longer his. It was a twist nobody saw coming. The same physique praised as one of the best that year suddenly became the center of one of the biggest controversies in the event's history. This episode didn't just mark Shawn's career. It reshaped the direction of professional bodybuilding itself. The 1990 Arnold Classic became a turning point, sparking discussions about ethics, regulation, and the future of the sport. When Shawn Ray's disqualification was announced, the entire landscape of the 1990 Arnold Classic changed. The athlete who had originally placed second, Mike Ashley, was now officially moved into the top spot. For some, it was an unexpected twist. But for those who followed his journey closely, the victory still felt well-deserved. Ashley had long been recognized for his consistency, discipline, and flawless stage presence. Mike Ashley had a unique reputation in the bodybuilding scene at the time. While many competitors were associated with heavy cycles and dramatic physical changes, he was known as one of the more natural athletes on the circuit. His physique showed incredible balance, clean lines, harmonious proportions, and conditioning that reflected just how seriously he lived the lifestyle. That image made his victory hit even harder during such a controversial year. With the results officially changed, Ashley became the recognized 1990 Arnold Classic champion, a win that went down in history not only because of the drama surrounding it, but also because of what it represented. Many fans began looking at him as a symbol of commitment, ethics, and longevity in the sport. His calm, professional demeanor helped the transition of the title be received with a lot of respect throughout the community. His win also shined a light on the importance of a more transparent and regulated era of bodybuilding. Ashley, even without chasing the spotlight, ended up becoming an example of how discipline and consistency can be enough to reach the biggest stages. But beyond the fight for first and second place, the top 10 at the 1990 Arnold Classic revealed a lineup that truly marked that era, bringing together athletes who shaped bodybuilding in different ways. At the top stood Mike Ashley, now the official champion after Shawn Ray's disqualification. Right behind him was Mike Christian, who claimed second place. Christian was known for his massive physique and dominant stage presence, traits that made him one of the most respected athletes of that generation. In third came one of the sport's most iconic names, Andreas Munzer. Famous for his extremely chiseled conditioning and almost sculpted appearance, Munzer delivered a level of detail that impressed even the most seasoned competitors. His look was so distinct and so sharp that it became a benchmark for extreme conditioning. Fourth place went to Robbie Robinson, a true living legend of the sport. Even as a veteran by 1990, Robinson stepped on stage with an impressive physique, proving that experience and longevity still carried a lot of weight. Standing beside him, Steve Brisbois secured fifth place with a solid, technical performance that showed both skill and refinement in his posing. Rounding out the top 10 were names like Tony Pearson, Paul Jean-Guillaume, Chris Dickerson, and Albert Beckles, each representing a different style, age, and phase of bodybuilding. From classic physiques to the more modern looks of the time, each athlete brought their own signature to the stage. Together, they made the 1990 Arnold Classic a memorable show, blending talent that represented both the sport's past and its future. The 1990 Arnold Classic also became known for the visual and aesthetic impressions that defined that era of bodybuilding. One standout was, once again, Andreas Munzer, an athlete who caught everyone's attention with his extreme conditioning and nearly flawless symmetry. Unlike bulkier competitors, Munzer won over fans and judges with his insane level of muscular detail, something rare and shocking even by the standards of that time. His unforgettable look and unique style made him one of the most striking figures on stage. Beyond his physique, Munzer carried that classic late 80s, early 90s aesthetic, long hair, intense stage presence, and a look that instantly stood out. But his posing style often sparked mixed opinions. He had a habit of spreading his legs too wide or leaning his head forward, moves some analysts found odd or even a bit awkward. Still, his muscular control was so impressive that none of that took away from the impact of his performance. We also can't ignore the fact that Munzer passed away at 32 from complications linked to anabolic steroids, a tragedy that left a deep mark on the sport. Another visual highlight of that year was Robbie Robinson, a true veteran who, even around 44 years old, stepped on stage in incredible shape. His ability to stay competitive at such a high level was just as impressive as the elegance and smoothness of his posing. Looking back at bodybuilding in the 90s, one thing is clear: that decade had a style of its own. Athletes hit the stage with big, voluminous hair and visual styles that matched the fashion of the time, giving them a bold, almost cinematic look. The flashy outfits combined with dramatic lighting gave each presentation extra personality. These little details helped turn every competitor into a unique figure, emphasizing the artistic side of the sport. Music also played a big role. Routines were often set to romantic songs, soft melodies, or emotional tracks that helped create an engaging atmosphere. The effects were simple but effective, contrasting lights, dark backdrops, and total focus on the athlete. It was a time when less technology meant more creativity, giving those performances a charm that still hits with nostalgia today. Another striking aspect of the decade was how fluid the athletes were on stage. They moved naturally, used the whole space, and often incorporated poses on the floor, something far less common today. That physical freedom made routines feel more expressive, almost like choreography, blending bodybuilding with artistic performance. The goal wasn't just to show muscles, it was to tell a story with every movement. Compared to modern bodybuilding, the differences stand out. Today, the focus is on extreme muscle size. Athletes are bigger, denser, and heavier, which naturally reduces flexibility and limits certain movements. Posing has become more rigid, technical, and less expressive, prioritizing mass and conditioning over aesthetic flow. This shift also changed the theatrical aspect of routines. While the 90s emphasized showmanship, emotion, and the art of posing, modern bodybuilding tends to follow a more direct, straightforward approach. Both eras have their beauty, but understanding the differences helps you appreciate how the sport evolved and how each decade left its own mark on stage. So tell me, do you prefer the more artistic 90s style or the high-impact look of today's bodybuilding? After revisiting every detail of the 1990 Arnold Classic, it's clear that this wasn't just another competition. It was a defining moment that shaped bodybuilding and left stories that still spark curiosity and debate. From Shawn Ray's meteoric rise to the twist that crowned Mike Ashley, all the way to the unforgettable aesthetic of the 90s, that event showed how each generation leaves its own signature on the sport. If you enjoy this kind of deep dive into bodybuilding's past, its legends, and behind-the-scenes moments, you're in the right place. Here, we explore the stories that built an era, always with clarity and passion. And before you jump to the next video, make sure to hit that like button. It helps the channel reach even more people who love this world as much as you do. And if you want to support our work even further, consider becoming a channel member. Now tell me in the comments, what part of this story surprised you the most? The doping controversy, Mike Ashley's unexpected victory, or the unique 90s aesthetic? Your opinion is always welcome here. Reading your comments is honestly one of the best parts of our day. And of course, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss our weekly videos. There's already another great one waiting for you on the end screen. Just click and join me on this journey through the world of bodybuilding. See you in the next one.